Hi guys, it's Little Kansas Kitty and I welcome you back to my weight loss surgery channel. I had the RNY gastric bypass surgery on June 25th, 2018. So this marks about my 1 year, 5 month post-op update. I started off my high weight at 238 pounds. I'm 5'6", I'm 39 years old. I lost 100 pounds. And there I was sitting at 138, and I set my maintenance range of 7 pounds, 138 to 145. I tend to sit at that high end of my maintenance range, which I'm totally okay with. That's what the range is for, to stay within there. And I have been maintaining for some time now, since I was 32 weeks post-op. Last time I came to you, I want to say it was about 3 weeks ago, I was right at about 143. Last week, I sat at 143 every single day. Let's jump on the scale and see where I am today. As you can see, I'm 145, so at my high end, but that's okay. That's what the range is for, right? So with the cold weather, and with some stresses at work right now, I am the first to admit I have been leaning towards comfort foods. And some of those comfort foods are pasta, which I was always very afraid at the beginning to even try pasta. I didn't think I would be able to handle it in my pouch. I can. So I've been leaning towards some pasta. I have been leaning towards some chocolate, and they're comforting. And, you know, eating to blunt emotions is a very slippery slope, because as you start to do that, a handful of something can turn into excessive amounts very quickly. And although those unwanted emotional feelings are masked, often with carbs and food, and they may be gone temporarily, they will come back. And so, with the holidays fast approaching, often comes anxiety and stresses. And for many, this is really easy for us to fall into old eating habits and temptations. So I strongly believe in the power of positive thinking and just simply breathing, accepting, and saying to myself, I can get through this. So repeating that mantra in your head can keep you calm and moving forward. Since I last came to you, I've had a few very abundant and blessed weeks, just very full weeks. And I did go ahead and run another marathon, another 26.2 marathon. Coming off of Atlantic City, that was my 9th marathon, and just closing out this year, I just wanted to say I did 10. I was just on a high, I was feeling good, I was trained, and I thought, let me just sneak in one more marathon before the end of the year. And so I chose Kansas, close to me, and it was called the Little Apple Marathon. I woke up early that Saturday morning. I had a 2.5 hour drive, and I stopped in Topeka on the way to get some gas and go to the bathroom. And as I left, I was headed on the highway, and I realized I was going the wrong direction for 20 miles. And I needed to get there because I had to pick up my race packet. The race started at 8 o'clock, and a race packet pickup closed at 7:45. It was a small race. And my time, my arrival time on my GPS said 8:02. And I was like, no! No! And so I turned around, had gone the wrong direction for 20 miles, and I was flying. I was going like 100 miles per hour. And I just kept looking in my rearview mirror, and I was like, this is about to be over. I'm about to be pulled over. This is about to be over. And I'm not going to be able to run. I'm going to get pulled over, and it's just done. You know, my day's going to be done. And I risked it. And I know it wasn't safe, but I made it. I made it with minutes to spare. I ran from where I parked to the table, the tent that they had set up for race packet pickup. I got my bib. They had cute little shirts there, and I was like, I'll come back. I'll come back. Can I just come back after the race and grab this? And I was, you know, again, just mentally going into this race as a long run. It was just going to be a long run for me. No time goals. I just ran a marathon. No time goals whatsoever. And so got my bib. Realized I had a few extra minutes to spare. Went to the porta potty. Went to the start of the race. And I had a couple pace groups I could choose from that I decided to go ahead and run with. One was the 4:30 pace group, and I did run Atlantic City in 4:18:50. Or there was the next pace group was 4:15, and a pace group is basically there's a pacer, he holds a stick, there's a flag on it, and it says 4:15, and that way groups of runners can run with that pacer and know that they can meet their goal. That pacer's only goal is to cross the finish line in 4 hours and 15 minutes. And so anyone that runs in that area or in that group will know that they can meet that goal if that's, if they have a time goal. I didn't really have a time goal, but I didn't really want to run a 4:30, so I thought, let me just start with the 4:15 group. If they're going too fast for me, since I just did the 4:18, I can always fall back and I can do my own thing. So I started with them, and I was feeling super, super strong. I was just like very, very talkative and excited and happy, and I think I just went into it so non-stressed and so calm, thinking it's just another marathon, it's just another state, it's just another training run. And so I was jibber-jabbering, and the pacer was actually from Kansas City, so I talked to him, and there were a few people there, and I could tell that they were kind of, some of them were struggling with talking and running at the same time, and so I just talked away the miles, and I was feeling great. And I met this girl right away, and she was so cute. She was 26 and from a farm in Kansas, of a family of 6, and just a very spiritual girl. And she had just returned from doing a kind of mission trip and working in an orphanage in Thailand. But anyway, she and I got to know each other super well, and about 10 miles later we were still with this pace group, and this was her second marathon. And her first marathon she had just run a few weeks before that too, and she ran it in 5 hours. And so it was kind of fun because she did that with her cousin, and she said, I just wanted to come back and see what I can do, what am I capable of doing. And so she was definitely pushing herself, for running in the 4:15 group. And at about 10 miles, we went through a water station, and we looked back, and we realized we had separated from the pace group. They were already back, and I was like, it didn't really set in my mind at that moment that we're faster than the 4:15. And we're just running and talking and sharing, and imagine meeting a stranger and sharing about 4 hours with them. You can share everything with them. Like in a 4-hour span, I went from being a baby, growing up in Germany, to moving to the United States, and my marriage, my divorce, my children, my failed relationships, my work, my philanthropy work, my coaching, just like everything, my weight loss surgery, you guys, like I just was able to cover my entire life story. And she shared hers, and it was really good. And at about 20 miles, it was the very first time I looked down at my Garmin, and my breathing had become a little labored finally. It kind of set in, and she looked over me, she goes, how are you doing? I said, you know what? I was like, you go. I am feeling a little labored. This is your race. You got this. And I kind of pushed her, and she just turned around. She was like, okay, thank you. She was just like, you could just feel her gratitude, and just such a sweet spirit. And so she took off, and I kind of like was collecting myself and breathing, and I looked down at my Garmin, and I was like, oh shit, we're going fast. Like, we've been going fast, and I had no idea. I'd never even looked at my time. And I started calculating super quickly, and I realized, okay, I've got 6 miles left. Let's just be conservative with my calculations. 6 miles, 10-minute miles, for a pace, that's an hour, about an hour. And it settled into my mind that I've got 1 hour left. That's going to finish me at about a 4:05, 4 hours, 5 minutes. I just did Atlantic City 2 weeks ago in 4:18. What? And my very first marathon that I ran 10 years ago in Palm Beach, Florida, was in a 4:05:39. And I thought, oh my gosh, is it possible? I'm going to PR? And so I just told myself, just keep moving, keep going forward, just keep doing your thing. So 3 miles later, I did another check-in. okay, conservative calculation, I've got 3 miles left to get to 26. I'm at 23 miles, 10-minute per pace miles. I've got about 30 minutes. Yes, 30 minutes is coming in at exactly like 4:05. And I was like, if I just push just a little bit, you know, if I'm under the 10, which I had been because my average was already showing like a 9:18, I'm gonna PR. And it hit me so hard out of nowhere, and I was like, I'm gonna PR, I'm gonna PR. Oh my gosh, Carol can be so proud of me. And I just busted out in tears, and I was like, oh my gosh, I gotta do this. I gotta get out of my, get a little uncomfortable. It's okay to be a little uncomfortable. So I've got 3 miles left, then I've got 2 miles left, and I'm calculating, I'm like, I'm so close. Like, this is gonna be seconds. We're talking about seconds. I've got to keep the momentum going. 1 mile left. I'm like, okay, girl, you got this. So I'm like pushing hard. I hit that finish, and this time I'm like, I'm smiling, but also kind of in a very uncomfortable spot. And I finished, and I was like, oh my gosh. And I stopped my Garmin, and it said 4:04. So I finished the Manhattan, Kansas Little Apple Marathon in 4:04:49, and 10 years ago I beat my 29-year-old self where I ran a 4:05, what did I say, 39? Anyway, it was 50 seconds shorter. I PR'd. I ran my 10th marathon in my 10th state in 10 years, and I rang that PR bell, and I was just like really proud. Really proud. It was a great moment because I just wasn't expecting it. It was just going to be another run. So it was a total shock, total surprise, and delightful surprise. I did see my new friend at the end. She finished in a 4:03, so just a minute faster than me. We hugged, and we kind of held back our tears together and just shared our gratitude for each other. And I really do believe that we were placed in that moment in time to meet each other and to help each other. It was a reason that we were there, and I always give the tip out when I talk to runners that are about to run a race. I'm like, meet a friend, make a friend. It's the best way to share the miles. 10 weeks of assisting coaching Girls on the Run, and we completed the season with running a 5K together. Girls on the Run empowers young girls, and some lessons that we packed in our toolbox to go kind of forward and move forward with life was teamwork, positivity, confidence, letting your star power shine, friendship and communication, just all really great reminders for us adults as well. And it was a real feel good and a reminder of what it takes to be a strong and beautiful girl inside and out. My daughter ran her first 5K, and I was so proud of her. We ran the whole thing together, and which everybody did. It was so crowded. I mean, I want to say there were probably 10,000 people at that race. It was the biggest race empowering girls in Kansas City, and she was so great. She just smiled through the whole thing, and it was a reminder to me of how I run my races, and she just really embraced the moment and just enjoyed the adventure of it all. And I was so proud of her. When she finished, she sprinted hard against that finish. I was trying to keep up with her, and we held hands, and we collected our medals together, and it was a really, really great experience. Okay, let's look at a surgery update. So I am like 90% sure I'm about to have my butt augmentation surgery and lower body lift at the end of this year. I did go ahead and go to another consultation with a surgeon, and he was good. Looked at a lot of his photos of patients of his and looked good. The price was good. You know, none of this is cheap. It was about $14,500 for the lower body lift, and including the butt implants. The only drawback that I had with him was that, you know, the Brazilian butt lift is really the beautiful surgery for the behind and really contouring and shaping that area. And the first surgeon that I met with months ago said I didn't have enough fat to transfer, and that's what a Brazilian butt lift is doing fat transfer. And so I was disappointed with that. And this surgeon that I went to, although I really liked him and respected his work, and he spent a lot of time with me and answered all my questions that I had, I felt really comfortable. He did say that there are 2 facilities that he uses. One facility will allow the implants with the lower body lift, and the other one will not do the implants but will allow the fat transfer. I could not do fat transfer and the implants together. And I know I don't have probably enough, but I do, if at all possible, want to have some liposuction and transfer done, even if it's just a minute amount, because if I'm already back there, you know, if they're going to cut the incision, lift everything up and do the lower body lift, I do want them to go in and do some lipo just to contour and kind of give me that, you know, kind of cinch in my waist a little bit more if possible, and just pull out if there's any fat and just shape it. You know, I just want the best possible contouring and shape possible. And so I did go ahead and contact my surgeon's office that I had my mommy makeover with, and there is a surgeon there that's actually doing the butt implants and has been doing it for some time. And I talked to the nurse for a long time on the phone, and I just felt so reassured and energized and excited talking to this nurse over the phone that, and he's been doing it for a long time, and she said he does beautiful work, and he will do the lower body lift, the butt implants, as well as the contouring, so any liposuction or fat transfer. And so I felt so good about it, and that he is already booked pretty much solid through February 2020. And mind you, I want to do this year. I want to do this over the holidays because I'm off for a little while. My office closes, and it would be the perfect time to get this done. And I want to do it before I turn 40. I'm going to be 40 in March of 2020, and I want that to be kind of my gift to myself. And then I want to go on a beach trip. Yeah, I want to go on a trip for my birthday and feel confident. Yeah, so anyway, I felt so good talking to this nurse that I went ahead and put a deposit down without even seeing the surgeon. So probably a little crazy, but because he was booked through February 2020 and he had a date over the holidays available where he does have a 3-hour block of time, I went ahead and put a deposit down for surgery. So I am hopeful that I am going to have surgery in December towards the actually it's like a month away. It's like a month away, and I haven't even had my consult. So I do have my consult on Tuesday. If for some reason I walk away and I'm like, no, this, you know, 3 hours isn't enough for him to do the surgery to do everything I need to get done, or I just don't feel right about it, I can get my deposit back. So I'm very, very hopeful. Just a little information on butt implants. They will increase the size and the shape of my buttock area. Butt implants are very soft, and they are solid silicone implants, unlike breast implants, which are soft fluid-filled sacs. And butt implants are permanent. They can last a lifetime. Your breast implants do not last a lifetime. Often they will say maybe 10, 15 years for breast implants. But basically, there are some different positioning techniques I will be asking the surgeon about, and they basically create a pocket within the gluteus maximus, and the implant is then inserted inside there behind the muscle. Very, very natural then. And mind you, these implants are smaller, at least compared to breast implants, at least for me. We're looking at maybe a 360 cc on both sides, which I still think is a little too small. And I had 450 cc put in both sides of my breast. I will require the lower body lift, which will remove the excess skin that I have in my lower back. And I'm hopeful that when they do that, it actually also pulls up on my outer thighs. I cannot address my inner thighs at this time because doing both of those surgeries at the same time is risky and dangerous and uncomfortable with recovery, and the time it takes a lot longer. And so unfortunately I can't do the loose skin in my inner thighs at the same time. Recovery wise, I will basically be just laying on my tummy. I can't sit for 3 weeks straight, so it's a little crazy because I'll either be laying down on my tummy or walking around. I would like some fat transfer if at all possible, if they can find it, and I just want to kind of cinch in the waist a little bit more to really work on the contouring. You know, from an artistic point of view, everybody has their own preference, but basically when you're looking at the waist ratio to the behind, that's where you're getting that kind of aesthetic, you know, beautiful, womanly look. And the question is how deep you want to go, and you know, how much more you want to go out here. But that is where I'm going to be talking to the surgeon and having this consult and really question, you know, from his expertise, what he recommends. My last surgeon that I had the consult with did say that I could resume all activity after 3 weeks. I think that is a pretty hefty goal and aggressive approach. So we'll see what this surgeon recommends. I imagine it'll probably be about 4 weeks or so. It's going to kill me not to be able to run for that long, just emotionally. And so kind of my goals for the present is to really be fit and strong. I've been running like crazy right now because I don't have a marathon. I have no goals. I'm just running out here running. I ran 18 miles yesterday. My friends are like, why are you doing this many miles? And I was like, because I know I'm going to be sitting idle for some time. I also want to work on a little bit of strength training so I can help push myself out of bed and just feel really, really physical fit so I can have really good healing afterwards. And I've been really slacking on my push-ups and my gym time on my upper body arms. I want to maintain my weight. You know, that's a daily goal, but just maintaining my weight going into surgery. And then afterwards, I do plan on walking as soon as I can. As soon as I get the get-go to walk, I will be outside doing long walks as much as I can. I will be very disciplined with my pain meds. I don't want to get addicted to them because I have a very addictive personality. And I am really going to focus on my eating as well because I will not be as physically active as my body is used to. And so I'm going to need to be very disciplined in that area and probably just drink a lot of Premier protein shakes because that protein is going to be amazingly healing for my body. So wish me luck with my consult on Tuesday. Just that I feel very confident and comfortable with the surgeon, that the cost is good, that I feel like he can accomplish everything that needs to be done in that 3-hour slot of time that he has available on that date before the holidays, and that I can do this before I turn 40 during the holidays while I have the time. With these sporadic YouTube updates, if you're not subscribed already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and hit the bell notification so you can be notified when I do upload another video. You can always follow me on Instagram under Little Kansas Kitty, and you can kind of see a little bit more of my happenings there. With that, I'll bring this to a close. I hope you're all doing well with your journeys. And as Walt Disney said, if you can dream it, you can do it.